Alright, the Galaxy S22 Ultra is undoubtedly a more productive and useful phone than the iPhone 14 Pro. I talk all about that in this video. But there are some redeeming features in the iPhone 14 Pro that's completely missing in the Galaxy S22 Ultra. Let's talk about that. First, the iPhone 14 Pro shoots better videos. So here's a side-by-side comparison of the same video shot using both the phones. I believe most of you will find the one on the left better, and that undoubtedly belongs to the iPhone 14 Pro. And actually, I've had the same experience across more videos that I shot using both the phones but under different lighting conditions. The iPhone 14 Pro also comes with ProRes that allows you to shoot more details and then professionally grade it to achieve phenomenal videos. But the Galaxy S22 Ultra has nothing of that sort.
Second is cinematic mode, which is actually better than the portrait video mode that you get in the S22 Ultra. So basically, it's where I'm in focus and everything else behind me is nicely blurred out. Now, the iPhone 14 Pro can shoot in 4K and it can focus on human faces, pets, and even objects. Now, this is on the Galaxy S22 Ultra and I'm using the portrait video mode. I'm sure you can already tell the difference in terms of quality, but also it can only shoot up to 1080p and not 4K like the cinematic mode on the iPhone 14 Pro. And it can only focus on human faces and pets, but not objects. Like if I place this right here, it's not going to focus.
Third, the iPhone 14 Pro just feels smoother for everyday use. So, while you're using the phone, app launching, switching between apps, gestures, scrolling, system alerts, all of that feels smoother and more consistent. And this is despite the fact that both are at 120Hz. It's really just the little things that you cannot notice unless you actually use the phone. Let me try and show it to you. In this slow motion video, you'll notice that these subtle animation effects, that's what makes the iPhone feel superior in this matter. Just look at the way the YouTube Music app goes in and settles in that dynamic island. Now, please note, I'm not saying that the S22 Ultra is not smooth. It's very smooth. It's just that the iPhone 14 Pro feels smoother. And part of the reason is that Apple controls manufacturing of the chip, the phone's hardware, and the OS. But in case of Samsung, Qualcomm makes the chip, Google makes the OS, Samsung makes the phone, and it tries hard to achieve that kind of optimization, but it's just a lot easier for Apple. Next, and this one's kind of given, ecosystem. iPhone works a lot better with other Apple products than the S22 Ultra will with other Galaxy or other Samsung products. For example, file transfers from iPhone to MacBooks or iPads are blazing fast using AirDrop. There's absolutely no connection time required and the sending is super quick. It's almost like the iPad is waiting to receive the file. Now, Samsung has Quick Share, but then it takes time to connect to a nearby Samsung device, and then the time it takes to transfer the file, it's just slower. Like in case of Apple, all the devices are connected by default using the iCloud account. So if you get a call on your phone, it'll ring on your iPad or the MacBook, and then you can just pick up the call and talk even if your phone is not around. Samsung has something called as Samsung Flow or continuity service, which you have to enable and set up, and even after all of that, it doesn't work as seamlessly or as flawlessly as in the case of iPhone. So ecosystem-wise, Apple is way better, and I know it's a tough pill to swallow, but Samsung does have quite a bit of work left to do there. Next, software support. On an average, Apple provides up to 6 years of OS upgrade to its devices. Samsung at most, for its most recent devices, gives up to 4 years. And so if you plan to use your phone for as long, your iPhone 14 Pro is going to feel more fresh and updated than your S22 Ultra, software-wise. Next, the iPhone 14 Pro has a better performing chip than the S22 Ultra. For example, look at these Geekbench scores. They sort of measure the raw power, and clearly the iPhone 14 Pro excels. And while none of that really matters in day-to-day use because they're both very capable processors, but it does matter when you're trying to do something that's processor intensive. For example, you're exporting a video. The iPhone 14 Pro can almost export videos twice as fast as the S22 Ultra. It's not a major flex though. Most of us use social media apps, messengers, web browsing, streaming videos, or listening to music. And very few of us really use our smartphones for processor-intensive tasks. So, if you do, definitely get the iPhone 14 Pro, but if you don't, both are gonna feel equally capable or powerful. Now, this next one is a really small one, but it matters to me, so here it goes. The iPhone 14 Pro speakers are a tad bit better. They're just like slightly louder and slightly clearer. So if you're out in a public space, you're most likely to be able to hear more clearly on the iPhone 14 Pro than on the S22 Ultra. I know, it's a small one, but it does make a difference. Okay, I'm gonna say this. The iPhone 14 Pro has the dynamic island. Now, I know, some of you are gonna say it's a gimmick. Some of you are gonna say it's really cool. But I'm gonna say that it's somewhere in the middle. It's great when you're multitasking. For example, let's say you're navigating and then you play music. Now, you can switch to music by tapping so, or to navigation by clicking here. Or when you're in music, you'll see navigation at the top, and when you're in maps, you'll be able to switch to music. But I do feel that there's a lot of future potential, like a lot of app makers can use it creatively to add more functionalities to their apps and just make the app use a bit more fun. But as of now, it's just a thing that I think a lot of people might be willing to pay for and get the iPhone 14 Pro. Okay, this next one is very subjective and you and I can completely differ on that, and that's fine, but this is my opinion. I think Apple tends to have a more premium brand character than Samsung. Or let me rephrase that. Apple is perceived to be a more luxurious brand than Samsung. And part of the reason is that, unlike Samsung, Apple only or primarily deals in high-value products across categories. None of their products are cheap. They all cost a lot, so that automatically makes it a higher status symbol to own. On the other hand, Samsung makes phones that cost $200 or $300. I mean, it's still good business because they sell a lot of those phones, but it does dilute the premiumness of the brand in the market. Alright, this next one is very subtle, but the native camera support on apps like WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook is a lot better on the iPhone 14 Pro than it is on the S22 Ultra. So, photos you take using Instagram or WhatsApp's camera generally lose quality when you upload to Instagram or send it to your friend, right? So here's a side-by-side comparison of photos using the WhatsApp camera. The first difference is iPhone maintains a higher resolution, whereas the S22 Ultra reduces the resolution, and so it's smaller. This also implies that the S22 Ultra WhatsApp photo contains less detail than the iPhone 14 Pro photo. The size of the file also clarifies that. So if I was to expand the S22 Ultra photo, it's going to lose some detail. And while the iPhone photo does look more natural than the punchy S22 Ultra photo, it is nothing that you can't fix with a simple filter. And just think about this, how much of WhatsApp and Instagram you use to send photos and videos to family and friends, and all of the quality compression that the photo or the media has to go through before it makes it to them. So on the iPhone 14 Pro, it's just going to be better than the S22 Ultra. Look guys, I've talked about what makes the S22 Ultra a more superior smartphone. I'll link that video in the description and in the card over here. And now I've talked about what makes the iPhone 14 Pro better. All you've got to do is figure out what makes more sense to you in terms of your personal use and your own situation. Alright, that's pretty much it guys. I hope this was really helpful, and if you did enjoy watching the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification icon and mark all. Really helps the channel grow. I'll see you guys in the next one.
I think there's still a lot of stuff that the iPhone 14 Pro does better. We haven't even talked about it. Like the video stabilization is better, the color profile for videos by default is better. It's also got a flat display. The S22 Ultra has like this curved screen, which used to be a thing a couple of years back, but not so much now. Even the accessories for iPhones, they're more and they're better.